So here's the root of the TFTP server, and in it we've got a boot.wim that I've copied from a previous talk. It's also got these files that we took off the server, and yeah, these ones, some fonts and some policies. So the first thing to do is to modify DHCP, and what I've done here is I've put in a couple of logging statements. So what we're going to use is the MAC address. So this is going to actually print out the MAC address as it boots. It's going to print out 6 characters. Now this class is going to pick up the MAC address, but notice it's only going to pick up 5. That's because Hyper-V seems to use the first 5 consistently and just vary the last one, which might mean you could use up to about 16 virtual machines without messing with this. Otherwise you'd have to put in more classes. Also notice that this class is in front of the class that we used before, which is going to boot, this is UFI, class identifier, is going to boot grub for proper, computer systems. And the file name that we're going to use is the one that we collected from the server. So make those changes and restart DHCP so that it's ready. Restart command. So just do that. And this window is the syslog. So we'll watch the syslog and you can see DHCPD is started. Okay, now we're going to boot a Hyper-V virtual machine. So here we go. So on the server I've started up demo, and I'm going to stop it now and find the 2 logging messages that we, and there it is. So that's the MAC address that we need to use, and we'll copy that into the DHCP configure file. And you can see already 0:15:39. So I copied that much, and what seems to happen is that last value gets changed. Now notice that things like this BCD could not be found. Wasn't a problem. It then had another look in boot, much more sensible place to put it. Found that and proceeded. Final thing to do is to check the boot.wim file. So create, and we're going to do this in Linux, can be done with DISM in Windows, and that was demonstrated in the previous part, but we're going to use Linux. One thing is to install wimtools. Let's just have a look at that. Apt-get install wimtools. Already installed. And in the directory with boot, there's boot. Create a directory called something like image, and then we can mount boot.wim explode it into a directory using wim mount. So we'll just do that. Okay, that's done it. And then if you go to have a look for it, in here there must be a startnet.cmd, startnet.cmd, there it is. Have a look at that and make sure it's the one that you need, which is in the comments. So it's basically going to look for the server, ping it until it finds it, mount a share Y, and then run the menu. Now the menu is actually on the share itself, so that's the technique that we were using before with regular computers. So you need that, and the other thing is what you don't need in the root is anything like setup, because this Microsoft Boot Manager for EFI will do sort of rather like the way it didn't worry if there were some missing files that couldn't be found with TFTP. It looks for things like setup, and if it finds setup here, it'll run that. It won't run startnet.cmd. Quite what the order is, I don't know, don't care. Just remove anything that might start there, including perhaps autocommand. That. So that's it, ready to go. Now it just remains to boot it on the Hyper-V server and show you the result. So back on the Hyper-V machine, I'm going to start demo. Now it doesn't have a disk, anything on the disk, so it's going to boot over the network. And just pause that till it's got going. This can take a long time, but the key thing is to make sure that it's loaded the right file, which is in Hyper-V x64 bootmgr EFI, which is using that MAC address that we configured. Yes, it takes a surprising amount of time, could be actually up to 5 minutes on some slower machines. So don't worry if it seems to be stuck. It's, as long as the network's blinking, it's going. One thing you can do to make it faster is to turn off real-time virus checking. That does seem to slow it down a lot. Okay, so it's found the server. It's just shutting down a few services. This is exactly what it does with a regular computer. And there's the imaging menu. This allows you to install your golden image if there's a snafu and you need to create another one. You can do it this way at any time, so there's really no need for backups on this system. Okay, and that's the end of that.